Well, City Skylines was really a dream of ours already when we started the company back in 2009, with the idea that one day we would want to make like a spiritual successor to SimCity 4. We basically were such a small team that we ended up working on a mass transit simulator first, but then we were lucky enough to get the chance to prove ourselves, and we got to make basically the game of our dreams. The relationship between Paradox and Colossal Order basically started back in 2009 when we were selling Cities in Motion. We were contacting publishers and we sent the demo to Paradox as well, and then after vigorous negotiations we ended up actually deciding on a co-publishing deal, and this was back in 2010, so it's been over a decade of cooperation between our companies. And I would say quite successfully, right? City Skylines, basically it was a very small project. The development for City Skylines took under 2 years with the 9 people starting to work on it, and then I believe we ended up having 13 people when the game shipped. So it was a very, very ambitious project for a small team with limited amount of time and resources. City Skylines release was massively successful, and it really was surprising to us that there were so many people interested in the game, wanting to play it, and we essentially were lucky enough to basically continue the development of the game for the past 8 years. Of course, it meant that we would need more resources, we would need to grow the team, and I'm not gonna lie, we have had our growth pains, but now it is really something that Colossal Order, we're now at 30 people, very happily working on City Skylines still. For me personally, the most satisfying feature in City Skylines is definitely one of those which is my own doing, the only feature idea that came from me to the project. Being the CEO, usually I let the development team decide on the actual development, but basically Chirper is my idea, and I know it's a controversial idea. I remember that the first mod that was made basically for City Skylines was Kill the Chirper, but I'm not taking it personally, like not everybody gets great ideas like that. My absolute favorite DLC is Park Life, because I really loved the joy and all the animals and the zoo. I mean, it's a joyous. There are so many DLCs, so many to choose from, but that's definitely my favorite one. For the community, I think like City Skylines, the most kind of important feature or the biggest thing that you do in the game is actually build the city and build the roads, like the road building itself. Basically, over the years, the improvements we have been able to add to that, I think really plays a big part in the game and the gameplay. For City Skylines, there's so many different mods that actually and creations that are amazing, and it's really difficult to choose a favorite one, but I definitely feel that anything that kind of like from the assets, anything that is personal to people, you can see it, like when people are creating something that is close to their home, familiar with them, you can see kind of the love and effort that people put to those. But there's one mod that has especially made its mark, and it was one of those very early ones where you basically would have those like border lines kind of thing with like neon colors. I think that was just so hilarious, fun, you know, out there, and I just loved the pop of color, and just who comes up with something like that? Like the mods and the modders, they're just like, it's an amazing bunch and with so much creativity over there. So before we go deeper into what the sequel actually is, we want to focus on City Skylines in a way that we give it a proper farewell. We're still going to add some things to the game, which you'll hear in a bit. But it's very important for us to make sure that we kind of close that book, and then we can move on to the new chapter in this journey. For a game developer, the moment when you get to announce a game, it's really the point where everything starts to realize. Like you basically, now it's out there, so we have to get it done. And it's really amazing. We're so close. It's going to be an amazing ride for sure.
If you had to describe the game in one word, what would it be?
Oh no. Very first thing that comes to mind when describing the game is fantastic, and it has so many meanings. It's the work we have put into it, and I think when the community sees how we have listened to them, it's going to be a great moment. For me personally,